Now, doesn't this look familiar? If you've done any type of marketing at all, I'm sure social media is the one that comes up the most and the one that you're probably the most familiar with. And for good reason. Social media is a huge deal and a great way to interact with people that you've never interacted with before, and a great way to broadcast your message on a consistent basis. Now, sometimes with social media, the hard part is being consistent. But when it comes to broadcasting your message, consistency is key. They say that it takes about 15 times for someone to actually get what you do and why they need you. So the more you can broadcast your message on social media, the better. I like to employ Gary Vaynerchuk's jab, 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 right hook. And actually, it was supposed to be the other way, jab, 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 right hook. That's okay. Dyslexic. It's fine. But what that means is that you give 3 times more than you ask. So for every time you ask, give 3 times as much. And most of that, when I say give, it's give information. Good information of value that they can use in their business or for whatever it is that you do. Information is golden. Directing someone down the right path is always a great marketing strategy. But along with all the good things that social media has, it can also be really overwhelming if you don't have a plan. I suggest that you batch your content and also do decks. So something like a long form content, if you can do video and then cut that down into an audio and long form written content, that would be ideal. And we'll get into a little bit of that a little bit later. But first, I want to talk about actually having a social media plan. 3 times a week is really all you need to get started. And I suggest that you schedule those things out in apps like Buffer or Later or Hootsuite, because that is a lot simpler and going to take your mind off of the overwhelmingness of trying to get everything done on the right time at the right day if you try to do it on the spot yourself. You can put it into one of these apps. They'll do all that scheduling for you and make sure it gets out on time. Each one also has different tools that you can use, like some recommend hashtags, other better times to post. Some give you, different analysis on your post and what they're doing. So it's great to go through them. Now, going back to what we talked about before, what types of content should you use? Now, I recommend video content because you can do so much with video. But you don't only want to do video content. Video content is the most consumed form of content, and it's great, especially if you get, those third-party applications that can put the text on your video. Those are great, but even if you just do video without that, that'll work fine too. And like I said, when you do video, you can take the audio from that video, and you can also play that audio onto something like, Google Docs or text to speech or anything like that, and turn it into written content. So that's a great place to start. Now, when it comes to like long form content, doing it, if you're doing it in like an Instagram or something like that, doing it in different slides, that helps a lot. Long form content is actually the most saved form of content. Whichever platform you're using, I would suggest that you also make sure that you incorporate whatever the new feature is, because this will actually help you be seen a lot more, because all social media applications like to promote their new features. So if you're using one of their new features, you're going to be seen more because they're going to actually boost it for you. Now, there's a lot of different platforms out there and a lot of different social media applications. I would suggest picking one or maybe two and creating content for that platform and then spreading it across the other ones. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are going to say. You should create content for the channel you're on, but that can be really overwhelming. And especially if you're just starting out, You're going to want to only pick one or two so that you can actually dial in and become really good at that platform, whether that be LinkedIn or TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, whatever it is. Dial that one in and add other ones as you feel comfortable. Now, a little tip for whatever platform you're on, and you should have accounts on all of them and be able to spread your message across all of them, even though you're focusing on one or two of them. Your bio is vitally important. And here's a couple things that need to be on your bio. One, what you do. Be very clear about that. Two, where are you located and where do you serve? If you're an online thing and you service a lot of places, then just put where you're located. Three, a way to contact you. And number four, you want your website or landing page or offer or whatever it is. Now, I know some of these applications have a little contact button on them, but still, if you put your email address on there, someone who's using desktop, like an influencer or someone who does this for a living, it's a lot easier for them to cut and paste than it is for them to like click. The easier and the smoother you can make it for an individual looking at your stuff, the better. And make sure that when you're on these, at least once a week, you promote whatever it is you do, whether it be your channel or your product, whatever it is, once a week, try to promote something. Because if you get new people in, they may not know exactly what you do or what you offer. So a great reminder in your post, in your content, is very helpful and goes a long way. Now, if you're going to do audio, if you're going to do long form content, make sure that every once in a while you show your face. Whether that's in a still image, whether that's a clip of a video, whatever it is. Even if you're using something like Twitter, you can add a photo in there. Now, even in the icons in your bio, I know it's really popular for a lot of people to put their logos up there, the logos of their business, and I totally understand that makes sense. But seeing the metrics, the ones with faces get a lot more hits and a lot more engagement. So put your beautiful face on there because people love to connect with people. Now, we could spend forever on this and go through a lot more details and a lot more things, but at least right now you have a good foundation and a good place to start. One little extra tip, little PS. Get on LinkedIn and use your LinkedIn About You part as a landing page. Make it focused to one thing, but create it as like an extra landing page. This will help a lot. Trust me. So now you have a good foundation. So let's get out there and start creating some content.